Hey, church, we are wrapping up this series on the spiritual practices of healthy people. And today we land on maybe the most simple of the practices, of all the practices we've talked about, and maybe the most profound as well. Often those two things go together, the simple and the profound. This practice has been really transformational in my own life. And it's the practice of meditation. And, sometimes we hear these words and even the idea of spiritual practices, and they often are infused with a lot of cultural meaning and different ways we see this expressed in our culture. And this idea of meditation, I think, is one of those. It can be thought of as new agey, as something apart, like in an Eastern religion, apart from Christ and the Church of Jesus. And I just want to tell you that's not true. While there certainly are practices of meditation in many different cultures and ways of expression, this is another practice that has been practiced in the church for centuries, from the very early stages of the church, and it's very counterculture to the world we live in right now. I would say if there's one way that you could really earn a lot of respect with people in your neighborhood, especially at your work, is if you're known as a person who's really busy. If people say, "How are you doing?" and you respond, "Gosh, I'm busy, really busy," you must be important, or you must be getting a lot done. And that is really revered in our culture. And this practice is an intentional pushback against the endless busyness of our culture, and really is an opportunity to silence everything else that we might connect with the Spirit of God. And it takes work. It's not something that comes naturally. For you, this may be easier, but for me, certainly, as someone who has lived with a lot of anxiety, just naturally, I have a lot of stress and anxiety in my nature. And I have to make spaces like this for practice, to slow everything down, to quiet everything around me. And it is the most dynamic way that I connect with Jesus, is by meditating. And so let me unpack that a little bit. In some other practices of meditation and other faiths and in other cultures, meditation is a process of emptying ourselves, of emptying our mind and our body, and that's the language around meditation in other spaces. But for us in this practice, it is a practice of silencing other things with the intention of hearing from God. And this can happen a few different ways, but the first step is finding a space. Space is really important. You can't do this in your living room with the kids running laps around you, or where the dog is going crazy. That's how my house is anyway, usually. So this might mean taking a walk. It might mean finding an empty space. I've done this in my car. If I can find a place to park with a view that's open space is really important for me and my soul. When I feel confined or surrounded, it creates a feeling of intensity. And so finding some open space that I can at least look at, even better if I can sit in open space. So it might be a window spot, it might be outdoors, but find a place that is going to be unbusy for you for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And as you find that space, get in a comfortable position, something that you can naturally sit in or be in for those 10 or 20 minutes. Make sure you're comfortable, and breathe. Breathing is just such a huge part of connecting with our body and our spirit. So taking some deep, slow breaths, and let life just slow down for you for a couple minutes, giving yourself permission to say no to everything else in this time or space, and letting your body relax, releasing tension and expectation and stress, just setting all of those things down. They'll be there later on, trust me. Let them rest for a moment. Take 3 or 4 really deep breaths, letting your body relax. So finding your quiet space, connecting with the breath in your body and letting your body relax. And then you may sit really quietly, and know that your mind, it will want to run in a lot of different directions, and that's okay. But let those things go. As the next task or the next idea pop in, take notice of those and then let them go for just this time right now. It may be helpful for you. Maybe being silent for 10 minutes or more is intimidating or really hard. And I get that. I couldn't do this for 2 minutes without really having my mind run wild at first. So let me give you this verse. It's in Psalms, and it says, "Be still and know that I am God." And maybe for you, this meditation time is just saying that verse over your spirit, over yourself, over and over slowly. Be still and know that I am God. And as you do that, brother, sister, I pray that the weight of this world, the intensity of what you're living in, would be turned over to God. That you can be still. You can be still. And know that He is God and you are not. I am not. And that's a good thing. May you be blessed in this practice, church. We'll see you soon.